What do you take out of the performance today, Josh?
It was probably more about week on week from the game against Adelaide. It was great to get some feedback from the pre-season on where we're at and what we need to work on. It's no different this week. There's still elements of our game, a lot of parts of our game that we just got to keep improving, getting better. From the contest, the way we handled the second quarter against the Breeze and overused the handball and didn't take territory when we needed to take territory. So, it's a closure on pre-season really.
The pressure that you applied to them, is that, I guess, a standard that you want to see from this team?
Yeah, loved it. Led by our leaders in particular, Drew, Butters, Rosie, our high half forwards, coming up the ground and putting pressure on. So we looked a lot more connected as a team, probably from the previous week against Adelaide. We know it's not obviously in season, but it sets a standard for us.
I think everyone's probably, looking to how you're going to play in your first year as the senior coach. What are, the trademarks that you want from the team that you maybe saw out there today?
Yeah, I think around the contest and holding our line at the ball and testing the opposition and closing the space. But yeah, just playing the all of the game. Like from the way we defend as a group to the way we move the footy. It's just making sure that we're doing it together.
You looked like you were very much so willing to attack the corridor and play on, not at all costs, but where it seemed appropriate. Is that kind of what we're going to see from Port Adelaide, a real attacking, aggressive style game plan?
Yeah, well, if a team allows us to do that. Look, we're going to come up against teams that are going to take our space away and we're not going to be able to move the ball freely, so we're going to have to take the contest. But if we do create that opportunity, especially when we move the ball on the 45 and we hit it, we've got to make sure we can find some speed off that.
Do you think that'll help a guy like Mitch Georgiades as it did today, who's probably not your traditional big full forward, but his athleticism and leading patterns kind of allow you to really take advantage of that?
Yeah, well, it allows us to be predictable if we can, move the ball a bit faster off that mark, which we did find those opportunities in the game.
What do you make of Mitch's game today as well as his Origin game? Pretty impressive.
Well, Mitch he's a really good player for us. And he's a product of what happens up the field also. He doesn't get those looks if, we don't break the contest and we're not strong in the contest and create some easier opportunities. It's pretty hard to defend when you do that. If we move the ball slowly, then it makes it a little bit harder for our forwards.
What did you want Jason Horne-Francis to get out of today, as part of his preparation?
I wanted him to play footy. Yeah, he was obviously a bit worried the week before and had a feeling in his foot. So, we were obviously precautionary with what that looked like, and obviously the scan gave him some confidence to know what he's dealing with. So for him, it's just been out there and playing footy. It's not going to be perfect early in the year, and he's probably going to play some more forward time than midfield time, and that we're just going to make sure we look after him.
How hard is it to get over that mental hurdle for him? Obviously, it's seeing the scan results saying you're good to go. It's obviously something.
It's a journey for him to understand what he can and can't do, and. It wasn't a stress fracture. It was a break. Obviously had some complications with the plate that went in. Each week he's building confidence, whether it's on the training track, and now we're playing games. He's just got to be out there, and that's the great thing. It's not about his performance. It's just about him being able to work and get some footy into him to give him the confidence.
Did you like what you saw from Jack Whitlock today?
Yeah, I've loved Witters' development in the last 12 months, to the back end of the year last year, in the 3 games that he played, to his pre-season. He had a great pre-season. So, he presents, he works hard. He's got a lot of improvement in him, but he's given us a different look up forward.
Do you still see Connor Rosie working as a halfback role, or he's so damaging by foot? Is it time to just sort of put a line through that and send him in your forward half?
Well, it depends on what the team needs. So Bergman out, Horne-Francis forward more. The team needs him around the footy. Bergs comes back for round 1. So it's I'd like to say it's a luxury to have to be able to use him both back and midfield. There'll be times where it depends on the opposition and what we need as a team.
Are you liking what you're seeing from Todd Marshall, the backman, this year so far?
Well, I'm liking what his development is and the way he reads the game and he can use the footy. So he looked like he improved again today.
Is Jack Watkins in your round 1 mix?
Yeah, definitely. definitely. You just know what you're going to get with Watto. Like he's obviously worked extremely hard to get an opportunity on an AFL list. Obviously at North Melbourne for a couple of years. He had to earn his stripes with us. He plays the game the right way and the way we, the Port Adelaide Football Club want to play. I think Jack represents that well.
What about for you, Josh? This is the last pre-season game. The real stuff is just around the corner. Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's the feeling for you?
Oh, I'm excited. Excited. I'm excited for the group. Excited for the challenges that come our way as a footy club. There's so much unknown about us at the moment, and that's a great position to be in.
With that unknown, though, does something like today give you a lot of confidence if there's a pre-season game?
I think it gives everyone confidence in the pre-season, and that's it, really. We've had a really good pre-season. We've had most of the guys out on the track. I think there's a number of clubs that'll be saying the same thing. So really confident in our process and the way we're going about it, but we understand what the journey looks like, and it's not always, linear in some ways. It's ups and downs, and we'll have losses that we don't want along the way, and we'll win games that people don't expect us to win, but that's the journey of footy.
Obviously your first year, but do you feel like there's a bit of a weight of expectation on Port, who have been so successful for so long, but you're just sort of there on the cusp?
Well, we always have expectations. I think that's pretty obvious to everyone externally. We understand what the expectations are internally, and it's about improvement and getting better.